Objectives. The objective of a PHSER, Project Health, Safety, and Environmental Review, is to provide assurance to the client that sensitive areas have been identified and confidence that the appropriate project, engineering, and operational procedures, including those for occupational health, safety, environmental control, and energy efficiency, have been or will be developed to control the identified risks. The PHSER is not a guarantee that the installation will meet these objectives. The PHSER team aims to conduct a qualitative audit within an agreed timetable and budget allocation, avoiding detailed involvement. The team must review the presented information and avoid opinion engineering. The responsibility for design, construction, and commissioning of facilities rests with the pre-project and project organizations, including contractors acting on behalf of the client. The responsibility for subsequent operation rests with the client's operator. Any aspects deemed unsatisfactory by the PHSER team must be referred back to the project or the client for action. PHSER stages. The PHSER procedure comprises 6 stages, aligning with traditionally recognized project stages. Stage 1, Conceptual Design Statement of Pre-Project Requirements. Stage 2, Front-End Engineering Design, Pre-Project. Stage 3, Detailed Engineering Design, Project. Stage 4, Construction Pre-Commissioning, Project. Stage 5, Commissioning, Project Operator. Stage 6, Post-Commissioning, Post-Project Operator. A program of PHSERs should be developed early in the project development and adhered to as part of the Project HSE Plan, Appendix F. The timing and implementation of stages should not cause project delays. This requires agreement on clear terms of reference, timely stage initiation by the initiating authority, firm chairmanship, competent team membership, full project operator cooperation in providing necessary documentation and responses, and prompt issue of the PHSER report and recommendations. In projects similar to previous ones, combining stages 1 and 2 might be appropriate. Some projects begin construction before detailed design completion, causing stages 3 and 4 to overlap, necessitating coordination between their chairmen. Likewise, pre-commissioning might start before construction finishes, causing overlap between stages 4 and 5. The different skills required by stage 3, 4, and 5 teams make it unlikely to combine these stages successfully. Approach and conduct of a PHSER. The approach and conduct of a PHSER will depend on the specific requirements of the client and the project. However, general recommendations from experience are given in Appendix M. These recommendations typically include guidelines for organizing and conducting the reviews effectively, ensuring that all relevant health, safety, and environmental aspects are thoroughly examined, and maintaining a structured and systematic review process. The goal is to ensure that the PHSER is conducted in a manner that is consistent with BP Group policies and practices, while also being adaptable to the unique needs of each project. PHSER team membership. The chairman and team membership will be selected according to the requirements of each PHSER stage and the nature of the project. Typical team compositions for each PHSER stage are defined in Section 10. Each stage usually includes a client's operator representative and a technical safety specialist. A project representative, who is not a team member, will be provided by the project to ensure smooth interfaces between the PHSER and the project. The PHSER team can co-opt members and may seek advice from various specialists on aspects of the project, though these specialists are not considered PHSER team members. Project personnel are not normally included in the PHSER team to maintain its independence. If unavoidable, the team must include someone familiar with that field of specialty. Continuity between PHSER stages is desirable to maintain knowledge gained in previous stages. This can be achieved by selecting the same chairman, client's operator representative, or technical safety specialist for successive stages. The project representative might also work with more than one review stage team. The PHSER team should be independent, especially the chairman, client's operator representative, and technical safety specialist. Independence means not being directly associated with the project and being released from the normal line management relationship. The chairman and other team members should have knowledge of the specific technologies or activities under review, and preferably have had formal training in PHSER techniques. Where the team's experience is exceeded, the chairman should be free to obtain specialist advice by co-opting relevant specialists onto the team. Roles client operator. The client is responsible for initiating PHSERs. The client typically makes a direct request for the Stage 1 review since a project does not usually exist at Stage 1. For Stages 2, 3, and 4, the responsibility for initiation is often delegated to the project manager, who acts on behalf of the client. Despite this delegation, the client remains the accepting authority and has the final word on accepting the final report. In Stages 5 and 6, the client operator may wish to have a majority representation on the team. However, these stages are often organized and led by an independent body. Any unresolved items when a PHSER report is issued should be discussed and reconciled with the client. Correspondence regarding these and/or other items relevant to the report should be included in a working paper file and reviewed by subsequent PHSER stage teams. Project. The PHSER is an integral part of the overall project strategy and program. Timely initiation and completion of the stages are essential. The project manager usually initiates PHSER stages 2, 3, and 4, confirms the terms of reference, and sets the PHSER timetable. Through the project representative, the project manager ensures the necessary cooperation of project personnel in support of the PHSER stages. The project representative arranges the timely provision of documentation, project personnel, and administrative facilities for the PHSER. The project representative also plays a positive role in drawing the PHSER team's attention to safety-related matters of concern to the project and ensuring that agreed project actions resulting from PHSER recommendations are carried out. The chairman's responsibility is to achieve the objective of the PHSER. This involves finalizing the review scope, selecting PHSER team members, leading and motivating the team, and meeting the agreed timetable. The chairman ensures timely meeting minutes and the final PHSER report through the secretary. At the initial meeting, the chairman must brief the team thoroughly on the terms of reference, the review scope, the timetable, the budget, and the general conduct of the review. The chairman's leadership must be firm without destroying the consensus requirements of a PHSER meeting. The chairman is the formal point of contact of the PHSER team with both project and the client and must be prepared to resolve issues. If unable to resolve, the chairman must report these to the client principal recipient. The secretary liaises closely with the chairman and provides general administrative support, including arranging meetings, timely supply and prompt return of required documentation, arranging the attendance of appropriate specialists, producing minutes, drafting the PHSER report, and maintaining records and documentation for long-term storage in the working paper files. It is advisable for the secretary to record all main points raised during meetings and informal discussions to provide a memory jogger and a cross-check on findings raised. Team members should constantly remind themselves of the PHSER objectives and avoid using review meetings to propose alternative design solutions or evaluate non-health, safety, or environment-related aspects of the design. They should draw on their particular experience and skills to assist the chairman in reaching well-considered conclusions and recommendations in a timely fashion. Team members should feel free to bring any health, safety, or environmental matter not within the review scope to the PHSER chairman's attention. Review Team General. Communications should be via the project representative for stages 2, 3, and 4, and not with the client, operator, or contractor. For other stages, the client should nominate a single point of contact for the review team. Findings and recommendations should not be disclosed to non-project personnel prior to the official project response. The independence of all team members must be maintained, and the confidential classification of written comments adhered to. The chairman should ensure that PHSER team members and their line management are kept informed of changes and commitments in the program. Line management of PHSER team members. Line management should encourage participation in PHSERs and recognize the importance of these reviews. They must be prepared to release appropriate staff for training and review work, agreed beforehand with the business custodian of the PHSER process. Chairmen and secretaries should have received appropriate training and participated in PHSERs as ordinary team members prior to their appointment. Team members' independence must be maintained, and line management should not expect feedback during the review unless agreed by project management. PHSER administration. Appropriate resources and budget control are crucial for the PHSER. The client and project manager may use the business center to organize the initial PHSER and its ongoing administration, including selecting suitable team members for the client's approval and ensuring their availability at the appropriate times. Project managers should not indicate preferences for review team chairmen or members to maintain the team's independence. Quality assurance. The PHSER is part of total quality assurance and should not duplicate the audit activities undertaken by the project quality assurance function. However, especially at stages 3 and 4, the PHSER team should ensure that the QA procedures are adequate and being followed with respect to health, safety, environmental, and energy issues. Businesses. Feedback. Clients are encouraged to provide feedback on design, engineering standards, and safety, health/environmental aspects of operational facilities. This feedback should be communicated to the custodian of this recommended practice for continuous improvement and incorporation into the PHSER guidelines and training. TASH Implementation. Objectives and Guidance. Each stage section contains the following 6 headings: project stage, objectives, team composition, information requirements, typical review method, guide words, aid memoir. Stage 1, conceptual design. Project stage, pre-project. The Stage 1 review should be carried out during the conceptual design phase, leading to a Class 3 level of technical definition before financial pre-release. It has to be conducted early enough in the proposed development for all basic assumptions to be questioned and changed if necessary. If fundamental concept decisions are irreversible, the review has taken place too late. Objectives. Review health, safety, and environmental hazards in the proposed development. Ensure the project has recognized and assimilated the organization's policy on health, safety, and environment. Confirm acceptable solutions for identified hazards. Address health, safety, environmental, and energy issues in process and site choices. Review inherent risks, including topography, process routes, inventories, hazardous substances, and failure consequences. Ensure compliance with local, national, and international standards. Recognize hazards in process substances and operating conditions. Consider energy efficiency in process selection. Address significant hazards during construction. Report findings and recommendations to the client principal recipient. Team composition. Chairman, experienced with relevant project setup and development, and preferably with local site knowledge. Secretary, company-based, and preferably at the same location as the chairman, with prior experience and training on PHSERs. Team members may include client's operator representative, technical safety specialist, process specialist, occupational health specialist, construction health and safety specialist, environmental specialist, and co-opted members as necessary. Information requirements. Description of proposed development and processing route. Project location, standards and recommended practices for engineering. Acceptability criteria for risk assessment. Substances, materials used, drawings and plans, studies on plant, process, and location choice. Similar project information and past PHSER reports. Policy and requirements on occupational health and safety during construction. Environmental impact assessment, client's HSE policy, HSE compliance standards, energy efficiency studies. Typical review method, pre-read supplied information and hold follow-up meetings. Request additional information formally. Split coverage into sections, e.g. process, utilities, storage, as necessary. Use guide words to aid memory. Guide words. Accessibility, disposal, venting, siting, spacing, population distribution, flooding, meteorological, adjacent activities, utilities, occupational health, noise, transportation, new process, similar facilities, deviation from normal operation, HSE legislation, local labor restrictions, inventories, innovation, visual impact, special operating techniques, special construction techniques, timing of phases, modification to live plant, environment, environmental impact assessment, occupational health and safety during construction, incident prevention. Stage 2, design specification. Project stage, pre-project. The Stage 2 review should take place during the pre-project stage when the statement of requirements, process heat and material balance, and project technical specification are sufficiently detailed to lead to a Class 2 level of technical definition prior to full board sanction. The timing of this review is crucial to ensure that all health, safety, and environmental-related changes, which might affect capital expenditure estimates, have been identified. It should occur after the front-end engineering design, preliminary design, is virtually complete. Objectives. Confirm the proposed development is consistent with the organization's HSE policy and HSE-focused programs. Follow up on issues from Stage 1. Ensure adequate identification and addressing of health, safety, environmental, and energy issues. Ensure project scope and specifications consider HSE impacts. Define health, safety, environmental, and energy requirements in project descriptions. Confirm a register of safety-related devices is specified. Report findings and recommendations to the client principal recipient. Team composition. Chairman, company based with relevant design specification and technology experience. Secretary, company based at the same location as the chairman with technical knowledge. Team members, depending on the project, may include client's operator representative, technical safety specialist, process engineer, control instrumentation electrical engineer, vessels, piping, rotating equipment engineer, operator client sponsor, and specialists as necessary. Information requirements, project organization and schedule, Stage 1 PHSER report and project responses, statement of requirements, location and layout of facilities, technical specifications, individual study reports, identification of package units, operation and maintenance philosophy, HSE philosophy and plan, environmental impact assessment, preliminary or course HAZOP study report. Typical review method involves more technical appraisal than Stage 1, limited by detail available. May require introductory meetings with the review team and project personnel. Allocate documents to team members based on discipline and project areas. Request additional information formally. May involve site visits if the project interfaces with existing facilities or if the location is particularly sensitive. Use guidewords to aid memory. Guidewords aid memoir. Follow-up, Stage 1 PHSER report and project responses, standards, engineering, deviation, philosophies, operation, maintenance, safety, relief, venting, environmental, materials, hazardous chemicals, radioactive, hazardous areas for electrical equipment, emergency, ESD, fire and gas evacuation, vents, flares, effluents, drains, winterization, lagging, tracing, walkways, noise, inventories, leakage, ignition, separation, buildings, explosion, fire, instrument control, electrical control, utilities, steam, air, nitrogen, water, fuels, machinery, mechanical handling, cranes, hoists, forklift trucks, safe site access egress, exclusion of the public, perimeter fencing, welfare facilities, adjacent hazardous plant, buried services, overhead cables, impact on community of construction, soil conditions, environmental considerations, temperature, barometric pressure, freezing fog, chill effects, prevailing wind, tides, wave height, rainfall, flooding, discharges, gaseous and liquid, solid waste disposal. Role of project representative. The project representative's role is largely one of liaison, acting under the authority of the client. Responsibilities include assisting the project manager in prompting the initiation of the PHSER as required by the program, assisting the project manager in liaising with the PHSER chairman, secretary, and PHSER coordinator regarding the formulation of a precise program, scope of the review, and confirming team members, providing the project documentation required by the PHSER, providing project liaison for the organization of meeting rooms, project personnel, and the coordination of project responses to the findings recommendations of the PHSER team. Ensuring continuity on the project between various PHSER stages and maintaining full documentary records of project actions and their resolution. Preparing, in conjunction with the cost engineer and PHSER chairman, PHSER coordinator, the paperwork necessary to authorize release funding for the PHSER. Serving as the point of contact with the project on unresolved PHSER items, if necessary. ensuring, after the issuance of the final report, that the client accepting authority has officially responded to the project, accepting or otherwise addressing the PHSER report. Administration PHSER organizer's duties. In response to an initiator's request for a PHSER, the PHSER organizer prepares a draft package, including terms of reference, method of review, team members, principal recipient, client and project representative, suggested program, budget estimate, initial documentation required by the PHSER team, administration, reporting, etc. The PHSER organizer prepares a list of possible chairmen based on the type of project and experience on previous PHSERs. This list is discussed with the client initiator, and an appropriate chairman is selected. In conjunction with the chairman-elect, the PHSER organizer discusses the team size, individual disciplines, and the quality of the remaining PHSER team members and prepares a tentative list. Line managers are approached for agreement to release the nominees and are made aware of the timescale and commitment involved. The involvement of non-company personnel, e.g., partners, consultants, is discussed with the client initiator project manager. The final list of team members, including chairman and secretary, is included in the draft package and sent to the client initiator project manager for acceptance. Upon confirmation of the draft package and agreed amendments, the final package is prepared by the PHSER coordinator, including all agreed changes and any specific information for non-company participants regarding charge-out and budget controls. The final package is sent to the initiator under a covering memo from the PHSER chairman confirming commencement and program. This is copied to all PHSER team members. Reporting format. The format for the report will generally be based on the Business Guidelines report, summarized as follows. Front cover, confidential markings, copyright, company logo, and report number. Contents page, summary, a concise half to 1 page review of the report, identifying the main conclusions, findings, and recommendations. Introduction, including scope of the facilities, initiation and accepting authority, terms of reference, scope of the review, team membership, review program procedures, and working papers. Findings recommendations, including key findings and recommendations, a listing of incomplete findings to be referred to subsequent review stages, an index of findings, and a complete table or set of findings, recommendations, project responses, and further PHSER comments. Each finding is sequentially and uniquely numbered. References, listing of documents, drawings, and reports reviewed by the review team. Appendices, distribution, agreed with the client principal recipient, including the following. Client, principal recipient, 1 copy. Project manager, 1 copy. Project representative on PHSER, 1 copy. PHSER team, chairman, 1 copy. Team members, 1 copy each. Business records, 2 copies, original report timing. The chairman should agree and formally record a timetable for issuing reports at the end of each review stage, with a copy to the client principal recipient. The chairman ensures this timetable is adhered to. If the project falls behind schedule, the findings sheet will note response awaited at time of publication, and the report will proceed. Reinstrumentation projects. Project health, safety, and environmental reviews. Introduction. The Reinstrumentation Projects section addresses the specific procedures for conducting project health, safety, and environmental reviews, PHSER, for projects that involve reinstrumentation. These procedures ensure that health, safety, and environmental considerations are thoroughly reviewed and integrated into reinstrumentation projects. Scope. This section outlines the scope of reinstrumentation projects and the specific areas to be reviewed. The scope includes identifying health, safety, and environmental hazards, reviewing existing systems, and ensuring that new instrumentation complies with relevant standards and practices. Method of review. The method of review involves a systematic examination of the reinstrumentation project, including identifying the stages of the project to be reviewed, ensuring all relevant documentation is available and reviewed, engaging appropriate specialists to provide expertise on specific areas, conducting site visits and inspections as necessary, holding review meetings to discuss findings and recommendations. Timing. The timing of the reviews is critical to ensure that health, safety, and environmental considerations are integrated at each stage of the project. The reviews should be scheduled at key project milestones, including early in the project to influence design decisions, before major procurement decisions, during installation and commissioning, after project completion to review lessons learned. Terms of Reference TOR. The terms of reference for re-instrumentation PHSERs define the specific objectives and scope of each review stage. The TOR includes Stage 1-2, Review of Project Concepts and Initial Designs. HAZOP, Hazard and Operability Study to identify potential hazards and operability issues. Stage 3, Detailed Design Review, including a loop integrity check. Stage 4-5, Review of Construction, Pre-Commissioning, and Commissioning Activities. The aid memoir provides a checklist of items to be reviewed and considered during the PHSER. It includes philosophy changes. Assess changes in project philosophy and their impact on health, safety, and environment. Loop changes. Review changes to control loops and their implications. New additional changes. Identify any new changes introduced during the project and their impact. General. Assess the overall effect on health, safety, and environment. Loop integrity check. Ensure the integrity of control loops. Changeover. Live. Review procedures for live changeovers to minimize risks. By following these detailed procedures, re-instrumentation projects can ensure that health, safety, and environmental considerations are thoroughly reviewed and integrated at each stage, minimizing risks and ensuring compliance with relevant standards and practices.